Hopefully I got all the Parmesan cheese out of my mustache. Whenever you're ready. Hello, everyone. This is Dead Dodge Garage Live, right on time as usual. Thanks for being here. We're going to do the thing where we hang out and talk about stuff, but I don't have much of a voice. What is going on? I never had the Discord on this computer, but now I do. And there are too many things happening. Too many things. Stop doing things. What's up, everybody? What is good in the hood? McLovin asking the big questions. How much paint do you have all over your hands and arms? It doesn't really show up in this light, but that's all orange. There was one here yesterday, but I washed that off. Yeah, it doesn't show up, but all my fingers are sprinkled with it. And some blood, obviously. Good evening, Granddad's Junk, or good day to you, given that you're on the other side of the date line. Tonight's libation, Chris, the Cider Boys First Press. This is one of my favorites. Real good one. McLovin thinks I'm supporting the Oregon State Beavers with my orange room. I don't think that's what it's about. Actually, my wife picked the color. I was going to do a dark blue, kind of like she did, but she randomly picked this color, and I can't remember the whole name, but it has rust in it. It's rusty something, or anyway. I said, let's just do that, and I like it. Looks pretty good. Posted a picture up on the Discord. I did not like the light blue that was in there. No. Luis, can I ask a quick question about the A903 3 on the tree? You certainly can. I can't guarantee I can answer said question. Greg Ryan, need a P.O. box for you so I can send you some stuffs. Harley noises in the distance. Excuse me. Pizza. Harley noises in the distance. God, I don't want stuff. All right, email me, Greg. deaddodgegarage@gmail.com. But really, like, just in general, I don't want more stuff. There will be exceptions to that. I don't know anything about Ducks or Beavers or any other sports ball teams. Heavy Early is here. How's it going? Luis, I have the 3 seals for the speedometer cable. Not sure where the small one goes. There are 3 of them? Me neither. Does it go inside the gear, maybe? No, that's the TKX. There's one inside the gear, and it presses up against the cable housing. Does it go on the... No, I don't think so. I have no idea. Hot Shoe says inside the cable. Huh. Rooster, the crowns are for top commenters. Tracy Gunn is in the house and says, go Ducks. Yeah, all right, sure. Yeah, you can mail me things at Rocket, I guess. But again, understand I don't want more stuff. And the address for Rocket on the internet is not the address. Don't send things there. We won't get them. Gary Hergert is here. Tom's on his National Park tour with the fam, so we could talk crap about him behind his back. Anyone else have their dreams haunted by Tom singing Macho Man on the Ram Church video? Let's skip that part. Robert Fitch says they throw the extra small O-ring in just to mess with you. Nathan Davies, which manifolds for 440 in an A body? I don't know. There were special ones for the 383 and the 440. They have a really goofy outlet. I think it. I don't actually know if the 440 one is the same as the 383 one, but it's definitely special and hard to get. So good luck. Vintage Adventurer drives. Jamie, what if I sent you a set of my favorite bass strings? Yeah. Yes. Eric Jorgensen. Oh, and I saw a similar comment from Hot Shoe. Yeah, you're putting that Hemi in Perky, aren't you? Don't lie. No, I'm not. Eric Jorgensen, are you going to just, well, okay, maybe. Are you going to just pull the motor out of Perky after all the shenanigans? Wasn't my plan. I just wanted to do the head gasket. I'm planning to rebuild the other engine eventually and take this one out. But I figured either way I wanted to have a good head gasket, and that set was $50 plus shipping. So I'm trying to get it. I forgot. I have one of those little heaty coil stud heater things. Forgot all about that. So I'm going to try that. Peter Dollery says, no video here. Interesting. I think it works. Oh, yeah. Tracy got his truck running. It was just gas or lack thereof. Nice. Grasshopper Cruise, did the Perkins head break free? No. Some say it's still dangling there to this day. Plymouth on plywood in the house. What is up? Yeah, Chris says audio's fine. I don't know why you wouldn't have video. Richard Scott, rebuilt Jamie's favorite carb, 1920. No leaks. Purrs like a kitten. Well, good for you. You must be a magician. Old Iron is here for the first time in like a month. Rad. Welcome. Mike says the Perky video this week should be called Fear and Loathing in Aberdeen. We've had a lot of incidents like that. The quack attack. Incredible. David says it goes in the most inconvenient place. Nice. There's going to be a lot of that. I feel like my nose is just running. Like last night I started feeling like I was having a bloody nose, but it never actually showed up. McLovin says the new office looks like turbine bronze metallic. Yeah, I suppose it does. Pretty close, but not metallic, obviously. They should mix metallic into interior house paint. JMR is here. Hey, Jamie, what's happening? Hit the like button is what he said, but how about the like button? Gearheads. Thank you, JMR. Stephen Andrews, who has the crown in the comment section. You're only 300 subscribers from the seating capacity of the Seahawks Stadium. 68,740. One thing about sports ball teams to wrap your head around. Wow. Some say he knows exactly 3 facts about ducks, and all of them are wrong. Others say he once punched a horse to the ground. Yes, Rory Desjardins will get a stud heating video. David took his 3rd shower since working on Perky, found more grease. Nice. Stephen Andrews, that's funny. The seating capacity of Seahawks Stadium. We're almost there. That reminds me of way back when I started. I think I've told this story. Before I actually started YouTube, I watched a video from the guy, the Canadian one, that builds Tri-5 Chevys. DD Speed Shop. And the way he put it was, when you're getting started, like, yeah, you're not going to get millions of views or anything, but, say your video got 50 views. Well, what if you had 50 people in a room watching you? Well, kind of seems like a lot. I would love to have 50 people at all of my shows. That'd be great. I think we had more than that last night. It's pretty great, actually. Larry Barker made it a little late. How's it going? Alan Pierce checking in from Milwaukee. Grasshopper Cruz says, this is a sign the Perkins car wants a 383 Magnum. No. Yes. Hot Shoe. Yeah, 340 cars had 727s, but was someone... Oh, yeah, Scott Day. Yeah. Can you tell me if the Plymouth Duster ever came with a 727? Yes. What Hot Shoe said. And also a 360, 1974 and up, I'm sure would still have a 727. Pretty sure. Yeah, mind blown watcher. Video of using an induction heater on Perky would be cool. If I do it, I film it. Yeah, bullwag. With the nastiness inside that old Perkins reminds me I'm going to just put a few gallons of diesel inside my old Ford Flathead 9N when I go to clean it up before I even attempt to open it. Good thinking, yes. Jeff Hutchins says I'm going at Perky all wrong. Instead of removing the head from the block, you need to remove the block from the head. Well, I tried using gravity. Yeah. Yes, Gary Hergert points out, if you didn't see Tom's video today, he put one out posting the current progress of the giant NOS parts stash move. Glad I didn't get conscripted for that one. Driveway Misfit says there's nothing stopping me from adding glitter to my paint. Very true. Very true. Plymouth on Plywood went swimming in a waterfall. That's a word. In Michigan today. Yeah, I saw your picture. Look at that. Oh, nice. Jealous. It's nice again here today. Actually, it's been very nice for some time. And then the last couple days it was raining. Thought our show was going to get rained out, but the sky cleared up a little bit. All the rain went to McLovin's house yesterday and Stacy Renner's. We had 4 inches of rain over 2 days here and snow in the mountains. Weird weekend for sure. Yeah. Bob Klapausius is here and says, good evening. Just got back from picking up an old Honda 200 ES 3-wheeler. I might be dead soon. Someone offered me a 1972 Scamp today and asked, do you happen to have any 3-wheelers? I do not. Patrick Radcliffe is here. Good evening. Great videos this week. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Diana, it must be Diana Mendez. Hello, JMR's other half. Nice. Welcome. Jeff R., how long was the Morning Orange set in order to trash your voice so well? Son, I leave it all on the stage every time. Ah, 50 minutes. Well, they call me King Turd up here on Poop Mountain. If you want it, you can have the crown. Martin Adams says the biggest pile ever of Moog parts is coming Monday. Nice. Dennis Wheeler was the first one here. That is true. Very true. Perky will percolate again. Can't wait. Nice. Aaron Scott is here. Loving the content. Grays Harbor gang. Thank you. And welcome. Again. McLovin put up a link to the DDG merch store. Oh! Hang on. Hold on. I have to get something. I'll be back. I'm not wearing shoes. Don't look at my feet. That costs extra. My wife cleaned the kitchen. I don't know where they went. I got new shirts coming, but they're not live yet because I forgot. I'll just show you pictures, I guess. Ramp truck shirt. Reworked the colors. Diesel, the white-tailed buck, did. It's not focusing very well. But anyway, ramp truck shirt is ready to shirt. Says not for hire on the back. In my crappy hand-painted letters. It's awesome. I love it. So that is ready to rock, and it will be up soon. I have to do things, but we'll get there. The one I'm really excited about, McLovin, our mod that's always posting the links to things like my merch store, and is here with us every week, except when he has better things to do. His son drew the flying banana, and here's the picture. Whoop. Whoop. Yes. I put it on a shirt, and it's minty. It turned out perfect. So cool. So that one is ready to go as well. Still working on Scrap Pack shirts. This is one of Stephen Andrews' designs. There you go. I need to make it larger and fix the spacing. And Stephen, I know you're here. We should make the smoke in that like kind of blue whitish, so it shows up on a black shirt. Know what I'm saying? And I think I needed it like a little higher resolution. I think that's why I made it as small as it is. Anyway, Scrap Pack shirts are coming. We're working on it. But I'm going to have to go through at least another revision on that. But the ramp truck shirt and the banana shirts are awesome. And they'll be live very soon. Looking forward to it. Harmore horn? Wheelie truck over Perky. Wow, interesting. The general viewership says otherwise because Perky videos are always, well, okay, the one this weekend wasn't a knockout of the park success, but the others have been. Everybody loves Perky. But yeah, I mean, I want to do banana truck stuff too. There were a lot of comments before I actually came in. Like me saying I wasn't eating pizza. Alan is here. How's it going, Alan? Mostly Mopar. Kelly Smith. Rich Jordan. Tatman Dan. Hello from the hot and humid Catskills, New York. Wow. Nice. Mad Mike 8. Dan Orcutt from Alaska. Hot Shoe, of course. My sister. Saw my mother here a little after that. Jimmy Baps in the house. Said hi to Chris. Lies and slander. And Dennis Wheeler was, in fact, first. Old Stuff Rules. Connor Lake Havasu. So many names. Rooster, when are you going to contact me about my flying banana shirt design? I told you, send me the design, and I'll put it on a shirt. But I need the design. Are you related to Bilbo Baggins? I told you not to look at my feet. That costs extra. Oily fans. Nice. That's a good one. It's a good one. How's it going? I know who you are by the picture. That's really good. $100 to Jamie by way of PayPal if he can play a bit of Return of the Grievous Angle. Dude, I would probably make... Well, that's not true. JMR, have you sold any of your vehicles? Yes, kind of. I have theoretically sold the 64 Dart GT to David and his wife. It's still here, and they haven't bought it yet, but they are buying it. Yeah. Hopefully he didn't buy a Thermoquad shirt. I have a Thermoquad shirt, and I was wearing it in, the video that I didn't get out today. Yeah. I said not to look at my feet. What is wrong with you people? Did you get the head off the diesel? No. It's still hanging there. It's been like... It's been 4 days. No. The Perkins service manual says... Hold on. I think I screenshotted it. Yes. Okay. And you're not the only one that was like... Look at the service manual. Okay, well, Stacy Renner sent me the service manual. This is everything the service manual says about cylinder head replacement after remove the nuts in the reverse of torque order. When removing the cylinder head, it is advisable not to force steel wedges, i.e. screwdrivers, etc., between the cylinder head and the block, otherwise damage may be caused to the machined faces. That is all it says. That's it. And the fact that it says that tells me they knew this was going to be a problem, but they have no insight. It's great. Anyway, I realize you were joking, but still. Stephen Andrews has a Honda three-wheeler in his shed. Well, do you want to trade it for a 1972 Plymouth Scamp that needs everything? Nice. Mike the Slacker. Hi. Gregory Welton wants to know any news on the Poly 318. No. David offered to take the heads home, but then that didn't happen. We spent the whole day on Perky being really miserable and greasy. Yes. Again, thanks to Stacey for sending me the manual. Lovejoy sent me some documentation, but I don't think it was the same manual. I don't remember what the hell it was. But that is all it said. Hilarious. Oh well. Old Iron. My W200 lost a body ground or something, and now it only has electricals with the clutch down, grounding through the pedal. That's weird. That's very weird. Roy Cervantes is in the house. How's it going? Linda Santomo. Jamie, B-body door mirrors left and right. Mirrors sagging won't stay in place. How fix? So I guess I'd be curious which mirror specifically, but as far as I know, all of them have a plate inside the door. Usually, the ones I'm thinking of have a stud that goes down inside the door and a nut on the backside. I guess they don't all have a plate. But they usually have a stud that goes through and a nut on the backside and then a screw at the front. It's been a while since I messed with this. Anyway, make sure the nut is on the inside and doing stuff, because if it's just the one screw, it's not going to work. Philip Genovese says, hey, Jamie, how goes the Mopar life? Not bad. Not bad. Excuse me again. Going to be a lot of that. There always is, I guess. Oh. The Grievous Angel. Graham Parsons. All right, well, I wrote it down. Cave Dave is in the house. How's it going? John Skidmore is here. Hey, everyone. I'm late. Was working on the A100 gas tank. Turned into a beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, it did. I spent the entire day inside painting a room. JMR, will you bang on the drums for us and play a little rip? I could have done that worse. From Texas, I ask the stupid questions on your video. Haven't seen the movie Jaybird, but I had a bunch of comments about it, and I did see the taxis. I've seen pictures of them. They're actually Belvederes painted like taxis. They are not true taxi package cars. Mad Mike 8, if the banana drags the bumper, do you realize how high you will be in the cab? Yes, I'm not going to do that. I have wheelie bars, and if, again, it's all theoretical for now. What's humming? Stop humming. What's wrong with you? Stop it. Spark pad. Don't want to work, don't want to play, just want to bang on my drum all day. Yeah. Yes, Perky's still hanging. I mentioned that. Yeah, that was... Yeah. Look at how much engagement I drummed up on the live stream by telling people not to look at my feet. Oh, big brain time. Speaking of which, hit the like, because it does stuff. No Beret is braced for professional entertainment. Very good. Welcome. No, that's okay. A bunch of people commented it's Huffy turns a wrench was the previous handle. I was the one who said to just turn the engine over, pop it off. Then you correctly corrected me by saying you had the injectors off. Yes, and they're held down on head studs. So I can't really put them back on. And I had a lot of comments to the same effect, like, okay, I get it, but the injectors are out, so there's no compression. And I can't really put them back on. I mean, I could sort of, except I broke one of the studs that holds them on. Anyway, yeah, a bunch of people said rope as well. More Harley noises in the distance. I got some ideas, but I'm hoping the inductive heater on the studs will do the trick. Rob Frankowiak, was diesel engines a fad for taxis back in the day? Would that be good for fuel economy for taxi companies? Maybe a fad that was proven to be a bad idea. Yes, very good for fuel economy. I don't know. It was done by Chrysler, not by Chrysler. It's a long story. I know it was a thing for at least a decade. Yes, very good for fuel economy and engine longevity. These things got 25 to 30 miles a gallon, which is a major fuel savings compared to doing the same job with like a flathead. So there was a reason it was done. It was a lot more popular in Europe than here. It's still popular in Europe, I'm pretty sure. Dan Rose is here checking in. Are all 318 small main bearings? Yes. If an engine has small main bearings, is it bad for performance? I don't know. Ask the 340. No, not at all. In fact, the small bearings have slightly less frictional loss. So, yes. But yeah, all 318s have the smaller main bearings. 273, 318, 340. Only 360 got the big ones. And historically, which one between the 360 and the 340 was known for better performance? Nah. The audio kind of sucks tonight, at least on my end. I think my mic's too hot and my headphones are too low, but I'm not going to fix it. Cypher just got back from watching. Maybe I will fix it. That's actually kind of bad. Just got back from watching How to Train a Dragon. It was awesome. Kids loved it. Nice. Dale Magners, did you mess with the PT Cruiser lately? Not yet. It's sitting exactly where it was at the end of the last video. Someday in the near future, Alan and I are going to work on getting the parts truck fully stripped, and then we'll start figuring out how to put a PT Cruiser on it. Vivian wants to know, have you tried holding Perky upside down at an angle and tapping on it? Seems to work for ketchup. Not yes. Yet. Not yet. Hot shoot. Jamie, seriously, you can try putting air pressure in the cylinders if it has glow plugs or some kind of access to the cylinders. It does not have glow plugs. It has the injectors out, so I would have to put the injectors back in, and as I've explained, they are held down on head studs. Now, they're shoulder studs, so I could potentially shove them in the holes and leave the lower nuts off and put the top nuts on and kind of wedge them in place, and then they would be loose when the head comes loose, but that's fine. Except I did snap one of those shoulder studs off, so one would only be held by one nut, but maybe it would be fine. I don't know. It just seems really janky. There are not glow plugs, but there are threaded plugs into every cylinder, and I'm not sure what they would be for because they're under the valve cover. You would think if that was, some applications have glow plugs, they wouldn't put them through the valve cover. They'd be off to the side here. So, I don't know what they're there for, but there are holes through which, yes, I could do pressurized air. Cocky Man just sent me $50 with no comment. Thank you, Cocky Man. What a guy. Thank you. If you have any comment that didn't end up attached to that, I'll keep a lookout for it. Jeffrey B, do you drill a hole in a thermostat in a 225/6 if it's new going in? I don't. Many people do. I don't. I burp my cooling systems another way. I leave a heater hose off, or a coolant sensor out. There are different options. I don't do it, but many do. No comment because he didn't want to be cocky. A little lower down, he said, EGR delete. This is really bad. Why is it tearing like that? Weird. Everything's bad. Oh. Oh. Why? Okay, I guess it's fixed. My mic was on Omni mode. Yes, that was Queens of the Stone Age. Yertle the Turtle. Hi, Alan Campbell. I don't drill a hole. Cocky Man's comment. EGR delete. Allow more dirty particulate from PVC to burn, perhaps more or less fouling the spark plugs. No? I don't think it'd make that big of a difference. I think my mic was stuck between two switch positions, and that was what was wrong with it. Yeah. I got nothing. EGR is a big problem in modern diesels, but in gas engines, I don't know. What is this? Another $50 tip from James McCarthy. Thank you. Any idea where to get a Guild 12-string neck reset? Much like the head on your Perkins, it seems insurmountable. I don't know if you're in the Pacific Northwest. I've never had to have that done, but I have had headstock repairs done on my SG multiple times at Music 6000 in Olympia, Washington, and they have a good guy, if he's still doing it, hopefully. There are plenty of talented luthiers out there in the world, but I don't have any like on speed dial or anything, so I don't have any good advice. But thank you very much for the super chat. That is crazy. What a night. Empire Rust in the house. How's it going? Waddley2256 says, a few months ago I bought a cone clutch sure grip for the 7 1/4. First one I ever saw. I've never seen one myself. Redneck5356. Diesel Plymouth t-shirts with it rolling coal. Absolutely. And it's going to say, yep, he's a guitar player. My first love was bass. My plan is the Perkins Plymouth on a shirt, and it'll say slow and stinky. Yes, Oily Fans is a fantastic screen name. So good. Vintage Adventurer Drive says, I want a 514 center section for my Scamp. That's intense. That's a lot of gear. That's literally the only thing the service manual said not to do. Redneck5356 says, Diesel Dart gets 35 mpg. Hell yeah. Nice. Hell yeah. Just Me says, I like 67 to 69 Barracudas. Which do you prefer? You know, I like my big window car and everything. But yeah, the 67 is my favorite. I think it's the purest one. I love the fastback. I know that's a divisive opinion, but I am a fastback guy for sure. 67 fastback is my guy. 68, you could get a 340, and so that's good, but yeah, I'm a 67 guy. I just like the grill. I like the lights better. I like everything about it. I'm going to hope that you heard what I said about that, because the injectors are out, and they go in the chambers, so there is no compression. I did just explain that. So I'm going to guess you were here for it. I think that was less than 5 minutes ago. Grasshopper Cruise on some of the antique tractors. I pump grease under the head. Is that possible on the Perkins? Possible, yes. Giant pain in the butt. And again, with no injectors, it's not going to do dick all. David, again, we triangulated those plugs. They are not studs. They are over the chambers and confirmed by the head gasket. They are plugs. Put the stud nuts on and hit him with an air hammer. Stop making recommendations. Thank you, but stop. I know what to do. And we beat the ever-living shit out of those studs with a brass hammer for hours. I showed at the end of the video, I can pry on the head at the front corner, and you see it, but it's very little movement, like a thousandth or two. Yeah, Vivian, it was on Omni mode. It was like right. I don't even know. Why is that switch there? Why do we have an Omni mode? Or no, not Omni. Bicardioid. The figure 8 one. Whatever. Anyway, it's fixed now. But that got bumped, and it was like right between modes. I know so little about music instruments. I thought he was talking about a chiropractor. That's hilarious. Peter Ralph just got here. How's it going, Peter? What's good in the hood? Oh no. Avon spilled soda on his keyboard and now caps lock turns on after every keystroke. That means typing this comment took a really long time. Yeah. Nice. Keith Hill, 61 Chrysler New Yorker wagon needs a neutral safety switch? Question mark? I mean, yes? I'm wrong, Burgundy. I don't know what it looks like on an Iron Flight. No idea. Ira Moser liked the Perkins taxi videos. Got a Ford Ranger and Mazda B2200 here in Snohomish with normally aspirated Perkins in them. Nice. That's cool. It's a slightly different Perkins, but nonetheless, there is certainly a familial tie there. They make a similar amount of no horsepower. It's awesome. Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. Gary Tilley, you mentioned in one of your videos a 360 that was specific to a police car. What is the difference? That would be the E58 360. Yes, it was a police car engine. It had, basically, it's best to think of it as like a high endurance engine because I think it's stamped HP on the little thing, but let's be honest, in 1976, 7, 8, 9, 80, whenever they stopped making them, I don't know, high performance wasn't a thing. But yeah, the Cop 360, it's the one that was used in the Little Red Express truck, although they kind of churched it up with a different cam and it made more horsepower in the truck, but they still called it an E58. And the police version was also in the 1979 Chrysler 300. That car had a lot of police stuff. There may have been other applications for that as well, but I know for sure police cars, Little Red Express, and the 79 Chrysler. So it has a 4-barrel carb, although most 360s at that time did. It has a dual roller timing chain. It has a windage tray. Other than the 340, I think the E58s are the only engines to have a windage tray. What else is special about them? I can't remember. All the best crap they had at the time. But yeah, I mean, it's still like, it's not an amazing powerhouse by any means. So again, like, and I got tons and tons of comments about it on the 79 Chrysler 300 videos way back when, but it's best to think of it as like a high endurance engine. Not a crazy powerhouse. On Perky, lift by the head and hit the top of the studs with air hammer. Okay, so what we did, but with an air hammer instead of a hammer. And I would need a brass attachment. I'm not going to hit him with a steel one. Now you know why the head gasket was never replaced. Don't think that's why. Give up. Some days are just fucked. Give up. Once a day is fucked, it cannot be unfucked. When you have a bad day. No. But maybe, but no. Redneck 5356 on the farm. We had a Massey Ferguson with a Perkins engine. Probably the same one, not the high-speed version. Robert B. Think it would be possible to put a 4.7 in a Jeep Liberty? Possible, yes. Practical, no. Is that something anyone should ever do in their life? Absolutely not. The 4.7 is a horrible nightmare piece of garbage, and I wouldn't wish it on my... Well, I would wish it on my worst enemy, actually. Okay, Old Iron says, P Series is pretty different than the A Series, which is what was in most North American Massies. Interesting. I don't know. The P Series is the only one I'm familiar with, but my understanding, I mean, the gasket set I got says Massey Ferguson tractor on it. So that's all I know. Zeke Anderson in the house. How's it going? Ed Sinclair wants to know if any locals are planning to be at the show in McCleary for the Bear Festival. I am not planning on that. I've never been to the Bear Festival. Martin Adams says, had E58 and 76 Duster. Was that a Duster 360? Was that an E58? Was it actually coded E58? Because, of course, 340 went away after 73, so 74 on up, the Performance V8 performance was a 360. Vintage Adventure Drive. Someone who knew my satellite from before it was parked said it had a COP engine in it. It's a 78 318 board over, 60th over. The COP 318 was not factory board over. The COP 318 had 360 heads and a 4-barrel manifold. It's the only American, anyway, 318 high performance 4-barrel engine, and it wasn't that high. Yeah, Donnie's got a Police 318 in his false advertisement, fake Roadrunner. I mean, cool, but it's nothing that special. Telump says, crazy coincidence, but I'm listening to your live stream and browsing Facebook Marketplace. A dude near me is selling 2 Perkins diesel engines. Nice. I'm pretty close to fishing land, so I do see Perkins engines come up every once in a while. I didn't know anything about them at all, period, until getting this car. Oh, I messed up my lighting. That's why I look so tan. It's not any better, but the lighting improved. Fat guy in overalls finally made it to Alive. First time in a while. Welcome. Some days are not worth chewing through the leather straps. Bullwag says the 4.7 is a happy, nice engine. I so disagree. So you're saying there's a chance. Dart GT sold in theory. No land grabs yet. Nice. Vintage Adventure Drive says there's a 1960 Massey Ferguson MF65 in the pasture out by my scamp. Pretty sure it's the exact same engine as Perky. Nice. The only thing I can say about that is the version used in the conversions was the high-speed engine. They rev like 800 to 1,000 RPM higher than the tractor engines. But that's it. It's the only difference. Wow. Stephen Andrews works quick. He's already sent revised Scrap Pack logos. I'm just going to drink. Try swearing at the Perkins in British. Yeah. I'll give that a go. Stop. No, I don't want a Sirius XM trial. Nobody wants that. Nice. Oh, no. Get out of there. Ah. That looks good. I like the big one. Yeah, I like that one. Can you send me another one with the text around it? Oh. Greg Ryan. I know you probably have one, if not both of these. Yes. I was wandering around Hobby Lobby. I saw the LLV, turned 180 degrees, and then saw the Demon. I like where your head's at. All right. Fine. That's funny. I like it. That is a rooster noise. Bullwag says the Continental Gas is a miserable engine. I have one in marine form. Ah. That was the Power Wagon 79 Power Wagon video. 3 bets. Oh. Massey Ferguson actually bought Perkins in 59. You know, the diesel conversion stopped in 61, which is interesting. Rooster. That guy needs to be turned into soup. Southern Mopar Custom. I'm putting a 318 in my 64 Barracuda. I want it to cut up and go fast. What would you do to it? I have done a series of videos on building a Performance 318, and God willing, we'll have the last installment this Wednesday. Things have not gone well, let's just say that. But anyway, watch that series. I give you the best advice I can if you mean you want to build a Go Fast 318. Use a more aggressive camshaft than we used for that if you want to do rowdy things. But everything else I would do exactly the same. 400 horsepower is not hard to get out of a 318 if you really want it. Jeff R., what model year before catalytic converter so it does good on pump gas? That was not a good Dan Aykroyd. No, I traded it. Nope, that wasn't a good Dan Aykroyd anyway, either. 440. A 440 cubic inch plant. James McCarthy had an E58 Diplomat with a quadrajet. That means they kept using the E58 through 1980. Oh, God. When did the thermoquad go away? Was it after 72 or 82 or 83? Somewhere in there. So the E58 must have made it at least to the mid-80s. High 15-second quarter. That ain't bad. Why now? Rooster. Yeah. Robert Lee is not late. I'm not paying attention. It's nice out on the test porch. Blah blah. Question for Jamie: would I be hated if I found a 79 D150 with a 95 Z28 HO engine and 256 6-speed? Hated, no. Cool. Interesting. Weird. I wouldn't do it. I don't recommend it. Tom was looking at one of them fancy swept-line CSS trucks, but it's got a Chevy in it, so he's not buying it. Yeah, it's cool. Whatever floats your boat. Beauty's in the eye of the beer holder or whatever. How many thousands more did the head move since the video, asks Fleetwood? It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Still dangling there. Scott Day, could you please tell me, since I'm converting from my Slant 6 to a 360 engine, if the automatic transmission, what I'm calling a Z-bar, yeah, your column shift linkage bell crank, will it work with the 727? Yes. Literally everything is the same. Your kickdown hookup, although obviously the linkage is special for a slant. The shifter hookup, just use your lever off your 904. The speedometer location, the cooler line locations and fitting sizes, the transmission mount. Everything that matters between a 904, be it a Slant 6 or a V8 version, and a 727 in that regard is the same. Even the overdrive transmissions from the early 90s, in fact, on up into the early 2000s, basically all that stuff is exactly the same. Now, the 727 is longer, so you need a shorter drive shaft, and it uses a larger yoke, so you need the special 727 slip yoke. But other than that, no big deal. Bullwagon says it was after 84 the thermoquad went away. Okay, yeah, I was off by a year or two. I'm always off by a year or two. No, Dead Dodge Lodge has a great ring to it, but people accuse me of ripping off Derek enough. Miles is in the house. What's up, Miles? My Chicago accent needs work. Was that a Chicago accent? Was it? I thought it was I don't even remember what it was that I was saying. That makes sense. My 85 had a quadrajet. Nice. Alcir is here and says, God willing, the rain has finally ended. I was wondering about this earlier. I'm going to take a look at the weather report. No rain until next Tuesday. It's going to be cloudy, though, for the next 5 days. We get some hot next weekend. That means we're going to have a house full of kids and a swimming pool also full of kids and a house full of water. Sick. Yeah. Time to work on the 80 Power Wagon. Time to work on my 79 Power Wagon. I'm so excited. Got to get the engine torn apart, but I got to get marks done first. Life is a never-ending series of things I have to finish. Robin Router is here with a picture of a rapid transit Mopar. Yep, there it is. That sure is one. Southern Mopar Custom. Have you seen an 83 Ram Charger with a 344 speed? No, and that doesn't belong in there. I'm sure you know that. Caleb Hostetler is still waiting on more Turbo Valiant updates. Me too. Alan, when you bringing that 225 over? I completely lost interest in that project. 100% don't care anymore. Never want to see it again. But then I did the Turbo 225 in the truck, and it kind of sort of worked. And so then I thought, okay, maybe this, and then we put the EFI back on it, and maybe it'll actually be tunable, or not. Maybe it'll be exactly the same. But for science, let's find out. So we're going to pull the 170, which has something horribly wrong with it, I think, and put the 225 in the Valiant. Southern Mopar Custom. Will a 727 transmission fit in a 64 Barracuda? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it is a pain. Huge. Oh, Dan Aykroyd. Even though he's Canadian. Yeah. Yep. No, I traded it. 727 is not supposed to be in an early A body. You can fit it with a hammer, but it is not fun. It's not fun to work on. It's really, 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 really obnoxious. And so I don't recommend that. But it's been done many times. Yeah. Oh, Scott. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, good deal. Eric Jorgensen found a first-gen visor, and it looks amazing. I have one. I was looking for one for a long time. I got one off Tom's Parts truck, and I set it on my truck. Actually, Alan was holding it on the roof of my truck, and I stepped back and went, no, I don't like it. I wanted it. I was going to go to the ends of the earth to get one. I was going to spend a few $100, and then No, I don't like it. But, more power to you. I don't like it on the ramp truck anyway. I might like it on something else. Classic Dude Mike. Yes, I'm pretty sure they did use Perkins engines in London taxis. Gordy Lincoln. Any tips on a somewhat affordable MPFI intake manifold for the Magnums? No, there is no such thing. They're all insanely expensive. Good luck. Yeah, no. Oh, Alan says, I had to modify the Z-bar in the 68 Dart going from 904 to 727. What did you have to do? Did you have to cut it? Now that I think about it, I've done this swap multiple times, and I can't think of any time I've had that problem. I don't remember what you had to do, but I've never had that. Kevin Brunk is here from Wisconsin. How's it going? Turbo! 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 Yeah, I don't know. Anytime, I guess. We got to get the pilot spacer. I got to order one of those. Excuse me. Bullwag, I'm hoping my turbo slant project goes better than yours has. I'm hoping it is too. Blah, blah. Finishing the Hemi next engine Wednesday? No. In fact, we probably won't see that for a couple weeks. Yeah, it'll be a bit. Autopsy of the 170 is absolutely coming, and I'm pretty sure top rings are either just totally roasted or broken, but we're going to find out. Richard Lane, would you try the Aces again since the 170 seems to be the source of the trouble? Yes, I've said that I would, and I will. My brother has some ideas for the Aces system as well, which I'm fine with, but it's already wired. Everything is still in there. All I have to do is pop the throttle body back on. So that is what I will, and raise the fuel pressure. So that is what I will do with the 225. And when it's still a piece of garbage, at least I gave him a fair shake. I'm 100% about that. Oh man, I was gonna say something about this. Old Iron, he has a D100 and it lost steering on what looked like a gravel road, and it, came to a spot where steering was necessary, and before he could get it stopped, it ended up falling off and like rolling into a ditch or something, and it looked pretty crazy. But anyway, I thought it was going to be a saver. That's or parts of it were. But anyway, drove my rolled D100 with no windshield or transmission fluid or coolant 5 miles to the junkyard yesterday. Too crazy of a story to just write here. Absolute insanity. Oh, cool. So you're going to drop a 340 in that Ram Charger. Yeah, that's cool. I think we're going to put a 340 in a Dodge truck over here at some point. It doesn't belong there, and I wouldn't put it there if it were mine, but it is what it is. Okay, yeah, Alan says he had to shorten the Z-bar bell crank shift linkage thingy for his V8 swap in a Dart. So maybe you'll have to do that. I don't know. Again, I don't think I've ever had to do that, but I could not be remembering something, I suppose. All Classics Restoration is here. Sorry I'm late, but Caddyshack was on. God, it's been so long since I've watched that one. It's real good, though. Yeah. Scott Day says, kind of wish I was your neighbor. I'd be over hanging out, turning wrenches with you, because it just seems like fun working on Mopars. You're not the only person who has said that. Jeff R., what type of manual box have you built with the Hurst Vertigate for the Barracuda? I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but I'm actually really proud of this and really excited to try it out. This was supposed to be today's video. I slept in. Not hungover. I did good, but tired. And I started editing, but I had an hour and a half of footage, did not want it to be an hour and a half video. And I was just really hammering on it, and it was noon already, and I was like, I'm halfway through this video. It's not going to happen. I want to go paint my office and eat. So I didn't get it done. This video will be coming this week, but feast your eyes on this. That is an all-aluminum aftermarket tail housing, factory overdrive aluminum main case with repair sleeves for the countershaft. All aluminum A833 slick shift transmission. It's got the early gear ratios, which are really close to the red stripe race ratios. Oh, nice. Discord stuff. And it's awesome. And it has no synchros, and it's got a Vertigate shifter. Yeah, buddy. Focus, you bastard. Whatever. Anyway, it's sick. I'm excited. Now we just have to do everything else. Nice. Jaybird bought some Knipex plier wrenches recently, and I love them. They make good stuff. Some very nice stuff, you might say. Empire Rust, the crowny thingies, for some reason YouTube decided that the live stream comments need to be a competition. And so there's like a top fans thing, and it shows the 10 top fans, which is it's just down to like how much you comment and interact and everything, and it's very silly. But Vintage Adventure Drives is in first, so, and McLovin is second, and Hot Shoe is third. Incredible. I, for one, don't think the live stream comments need to be a competition, but maybe that's just me. Andrew Button, do you find the upgraded shift setup from Passan is worth the cash? I don't know. I don't know. Alan says, you never left a car with 2 pedals and a column shifter? Not so. Colin's Duster we built with 273, 904 column shifter. And I'm sure we used the original Slant 6 stuff. Although, now that I think about it, I think, because I used his Duster as a parts car. I sold a bunch of parts off it. And I think that was one of the things I sold and then had to buy again. And we may have gotten it out of a junkyard V8 car. Yeah. Dylan's Dart, question mark? I've been sleeping on that the last couple weeks. All I need to do is move the banana, put it up on the lift, and do more stuff. Yeah. Oh, no. Yes, I did post pictures of the slick shift transmission on the Discord if you want to see them. Southern Mopar Custom. How much would it cost to drop a 6.4 Hemi in an 88 D250? $10,000. Maybe more. Don't. It's so stupidly expensive. Yeah, Bullwag said it once, I'll say it again. The Garage 54 making a manual into a dog box is making me want to make my own dog box. I'd love to see DDG try to make a dog box too. I did. It's coming. I don't know if you would technically call a slick shift a dog box, but it's the same idea. I looked this up the other day. The definition. Like, yeah. Dog ears, straight cut, not helical. Well, yeah. Not the same, but similar. You're still, with the factory, with the slick shift setup, you don't get the big gnarly teeth. You still have the factory engaging teeth, but you have half as many of them. So they're big, giant gaps. And it's easy to shift, and you don't need a synchro. And with my Vertigate shifter, which is pretty much, it's not a sequential shifter, but it's a similar idea. You just bang a gear, you don't lift, you don't hit the clutch, nothing. It's going to be sick. Dregs Diesel, any plans for the 241 or 315 Hemis? Yes, I plan to sell the 241 a month ago, and I plan to sell the 315s for very little money to get them out of my way because I'm tired of looking at them 3 weeks ago, or whenever I got Perky. Maybe it's 6 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago. Yeah, those are gone. I've got the DeSoto. That one actually runs. That one's worth doing stuff with. So there you go. Oh, gotcha. Saving plenty of parts. All the sheet metal was cooked. Trans was going anyway. It was getting some loud piston slap. Last trip was peak slant 6. All colors of smoke. 904 slipping, etc. Nice. Wow. Ooh, race car parts. Yeah, buddy. Nice. Vintage Adventurer Drive says, I have a Vertigate shifter. I may just have to get the all-aluminum case transmission myself and build one for my satellite. As I say in the video, don't build a slick shift unless this is a drag car. Just don't. And the aluminum case saves a bit of weight, but it is a major weak point. And so I can't recommend that either for most cases. I don't either. I don't know how it works. How's posi traction on a Plymouth work? It just does. Now remember, you folks at home, this is merely an expedition. Can't talk. This is merely an exhibition, not a competition. I'm going to get drunk. Not a competition. So please, no wagering. Nice. Slick shift, I did just explain it. You remove the synchronizers and you cut off every other engagement teeth from the gears. Second, third, and fourth. No reason to do it first. And from the inside of the sliders. And so what that does is it gives you big giant gaps for the teeth to engage. And so then you are able to bang shift, no clutch pedal, no lift, no nothing. And those gears should jam together. That was explained in the direct connection book. It's like the best. It was at that time the best modification for racing 4-speed. Yeah, so much money. I mean, the 6.4 is cool, but so much money. Nice. Alan feels great, so I better get some work out of him this week. Let's do some cool stuff. Brady Dog is here. How's it going? Haven't seen you for a while. You play a Brian Wilson tune yet? No. Oh, you're not a loser. You were the last winner. Drake's Diesel, I'm disappointing you on every front. Any more plans for the 64 Dart? My friend David and his wife are buying it. End of time. Do they sell floors for a 1965 Valiant? Yes, they do now. Hold on, I'll remember. It's a company in Washington selling them. Can't think of it. Ask Dr. Art. He just did a video on it. There's something in my eye. This sucks. Passon setup makes the A833 into a dog box. I don't. So they sell Liberty gear. I think there are different variations of what a dog box means, but this is explained in the Passon book too. You can do the old school slick shift setup where you take factory gears and you cut off every other tooth. That is what I have. The next step, and this is actually explained in the direct connection book as well. The next logical step in that is when, not if, but when you destroy all the teeth on your gears, you can send them to Liberty Gear, and Liberty Gear will weld on little rings with dog teeth on them. So instead of the little tiny teeth with big giant gaps, they're big angled dog teeth. It's like 10 teeth. The originals have 32 teeth, I think. And then you cut them down to 16. But the Liberty gears have 10 or 12 or 8 or I don't know. They're big gnarly teeth with big gnarly gaps in them. And it works in the same way, but they're way, way tougher. Yes, slick shifted transmissions are awesome, but they suck on the street. Do not do this for a street car. I make that point readily apparent in the video. Brady Dog, have you seen Rocket's new NOS business? Well, I've seen the giant hole that was carved to put all the crap in. I've seen the one room. It's still not quite done. I haven't been to the place where he got all the parts. No, I did not get roped into that operation. You know, the thing you got to understand about Rocket is he bought out an NOS parts business, but he already had a mountain of NOS parts. Like, we've been surrounded by those this whole time. That is not new. Old Iron couldn't let his Mopar be hauled to the grave by a Ferd, so he drove it. Andrew Button knew somebody that destroyed 14 small block A833A body boxes with a Vertigate before finally going with a 727. Nice. I can't wait to destroy 15 small block A833s. It's going to be awesome. Vintage Adventurer drives. I figure the aluminum case will live behind a 318. I love the 4-speed in the car right now. Don't have to use the clutch after I leave the stop sign unless I want to rip through the gears. Yeah. Cool. It probably not. It's not really horsepower that kills the aluminum case. It's just use. We ruined one in our camper van. I mean, yeah, it's got a little bit more weight than a Satellite, but it's a stock 360, and before that it was a stock 318. So yeah, that's not the whole story. McLovin says his neighbor has a Lenko transmission behind a blown Hemi and a 69 Cornet 500. That is a wild ride. Yes, I'm sure it is. Wow. Nice. Lee Walker's here and says, hey, brother, I'm the one that saw your 59 Plymouth over here by the Atlanta airport. I live in Noonan, Georgia. Saw it when I was real young. That is so cool. It had to be my car. That is so cool. Yeah, I remember the comment. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Andrew Button says, and I talk about this in the video, Vertigate you cannot downshift until you stop. It's not the Vertigate necessarily that does that. The Vertigate shifter, At least the one I have, the Hurst Vertigate. No, you can go back to third, and you can pull the thing and go back to second from third. It works. I'm sure it's unwieldy, but you can absolutely downshift the Vertigate. Now, if we're talking about a slick shift, that would be a different story. You would probably have to either double clutch or try and float gears, and it's probably just going to suck. Southern Mopar, when are you and Mopar Joe doing a build together? The problem is I live in Washington and he lives in Arkansas. I would love to do a build with Joe. Excuse me. His standards are a little higher than mine. And I don't know what we would do. And again, like, we're so far apart. We have collaborated on a couple of videos. When I stopped to see him, and we did some drag racing stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Mexican Spec is in the house. That means Tony must have gotten off a few minutes ago. Andrew Button says a power glide with an air shifter is the way to go for overall consistency. And I am sure you're right. But I have a friend with a straight axle gasser 1965 or 4 Barracuda called the UFO. And it has a 451 stroker and a power glide. It had a 4-speed before. And he fixed it by installing a power glide. I don't care about consistency. I don't care about being fast. I don't care about anything. I care about banging gears. Josh Homan in the house as well. What's good in the hood? Yeah, Hot Shoe isn't competing. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if I could turn it off, I would turn it off. Lasons. Yes, thank you, Mike. Lasons in Lakewood has the early A-body floor pans. Yes, they do. I need some. Lee Walker, can you put a turbo off of 5.9 Cummins on your 59 Plymouth? Well, you didn't say 5.9, so a 59 Cummins? 5.9 Cummins on your Plymouth diesel. I can do whatever I want, but I'm not gonna. That is why I have a K-Car turbo on the bench. Mo Party and No Name. Still planning on it? Don't know. Haven't bought the tickets. But yeah, I hope to do that. I still don't have a Barracuda together. Hoping that happens. Oof. Time to get the 340 going and race that old man in Tennessee. If I went down there right now with the Demon and his car was the same as it was, I would win easily. But with his transmission situation improved, I don't know. We need a Demon video. I did one like 3 weeks ago. Yes, Todd Denayo. It takes skill to slam shift a 3 on the tree and win races with it. I couldn't do it on the street. It's always getting bound. Oh, yes, Perky has that Cuban derelict vibe going on. That's what's so great about it. Kind of. You could put some Russian diesel in it. That would complete the Cuban experience. Al Sear, ATI harmonic balancer, old eBay find. Bought it for the 340, don't understand how it's compatible for all small blocks. Well, for the 360, it would need an external weight. Also, for cast crank 340, it would need an external weight added to it. Usually, and I think the ATIs are like this, but usually there are a series of bolt holes from the back you can bolt on a balance weight. So it's probably like that. Probably. But 273, God. 273, 318, 344 inch crank are all the same. The Triode 71 Le Mans had a 3 on the tree, ended up going to a 4 shifter because I couldn't find parts. Yeah, McLevin just put up another link to the merch store. Please check that out at shop.deaddodgegarage.com. Buy early, buy often. We've got Dale's Demon shirts. I actually just bought one. It's in a package right there for Dale himself. Next time I see him. We got those. And coming up, again, I did show earlier in the broadcast, we've got a hand-drawn by McLevin Jr. Flying Banana shirt and The ramp truck shirt is finally ready, and scrap pack shirts. We're honing in on a final design. So all those things will be coming soon. And yes, I'm always going to move glacially slow on that kind of thing. Yeah, Andrew Button, all 340 balancers through 72. It's actually, it's mid 72 production, I believe, that they switched to external balance cast crank. I don't remember the date. I remember the date for the changeover from orange 340s to blue 340s. And I only just learned the other day it's because they switched production plants. They switched engine plants for the 340s. Where they were being built, they were orange. And then at the new plant, they were blue. And that changeover took place February 2nd or 3rd or something. Good Lord! That was a big boom. 1971. But I think it's like, I want to say March of 72 they went cast crank. Somewhere in there. Wow. Tadanayo says, Jamie, my dad slam shifted his 3 on the tree 55 Chevy at New Brighton Speedway in Minnesota and held class record from 55 until the track closed in the 60s. That is awesome. Rooster says, at my age, I need a bolt-on balance weight. Nice. Peter Ralph, just watched the most recent episode. You sounded vexed. Indeed, I was vexed. I was flummoxed. I was beside myself with confusion and sorrow. Awesome. Steven sent me logos with text. Sick. Thank you, Steven. Can't find the same font. Oh man. Why won't that one download? Come on. My email is so stupid all the time. First one might work. I liked that other font. I could always cut and hack them myself. I do like that one. All right. Yeah. We'll consider. Classic Dude Mike is looking forward to buying a ramp truck shirt. Oh, yeah, buddy. Brady Dog, you figure out the ratios for the yellow banana. Don't want you to break your back. Air suspension seat. Figure out the ratio. No, I'm pretty sure it has 3 2s in it right now. Mound Road were orange, if I remember. Wherever the new place was blue. Yeah, that sounds right. Asiatic 777 with some absolute bullshit. All right, you're out. Bye. You will never comment again, you're banned. William Fitch, what are all the booms you were hearing? That was a giant firework explosive thing. The other noises were a rooster. Jaybird, is there a slick shift for transfer cases? No, but you can float the gears. Yeah. Andrew Button, Chrysler has basically 3 different counterweights. 6-pack, cast crank 340, and 360. There's more than that because you're forgetting cast crank 383, cast crank 400, and cast crank 440. Yes, fireworks. My dog is now permanently in her crate for the next month. Well, week and a half, whatever. Because she is scared shitless of explosions outside. Gary's going to Carlisle for the first time since 2003. Looking forward to being called Tom at least 10 times. Yeah, you need a name tag. Pretty Dog, can you buy dynamite legally in Washington for the 81 blow up video? You're supposed to buy it and explode it yourself. Code enforcement came by. We got a letter about our roosters. We used to have 5 of them. They were captured and sent to the corn, except for one that escaped. And he came back a day or 2 later, and so we still have a rooster, and you're not supposed to have a rooster. Whatever, fine. Code enforcement came by one morning. Dogs were barking at the guy. I go out, figure out what he's doing. He's looking at the chicken coop. He walks up and says, "Hey, do you guys have a rooster?" And I am not the second, the moment, the instant the word rooster came out of his mouth, the rooster in the coop went, I just laughed and said, yeah. Nice. Yeah, let's get some dynamite for Perky's head. That's a good idea. How's the chickens? Still laying eggs. Yeah! What's on to 2B? Were there any Magnum 360s with a forged crank? No, there were no 360s, period, with a forged crank. There are aftermarket forged 360 cranks you can buy, but most people just, if they're going to buy a crank, they get a stroker. R. Dave Carr, any progress on Perky's head removal? Not a bit. Is exactly the same as it was at the end of the video. I see you. You've been noticed. Yeah, I do need another parrot, probably. Andrea Alvarez is here. How's it going? Ooh. Alex Clemens, help. Was literally just outside working on my 74 Duster, doing rear shocks. The lower stud sheared off on the passenger side. Any help on what to do next? Excuse me. To fix that, you need a new shock plate, or you can improvise. What you could do is remove the rest of the stud and use a big beefy bolt. And I think what I would do, it would have to match the diameter of the stud, and you really want to have a shoulder, so it would need to be yay long. That would probably be 1/2 inch bolt, I guess. Grade 8, obviously. But if it has a shoulder, then you can't do what I was about to say, which is run a nut down to hold it into the bracket after you drill out, remove the remains of the old one, and then put a washer on it. With a shoulder, that won't happen. That AMC guy, do they not still make replacement bolt-in shock studs? They do for the top, but the bottom, are they threaded in? I thought they were pressed in. Aren't they pressed in? I think they are. Welder? I mean, there are options. Andrew Button, is 400 same as 72 and later cast crank 440? No, it is not. Nope. And those balancers will generally be labeled 440 cast crank use only, 340 cast crank use only. I don't know about the 400 one. I don't know if that's labeled. But the 440 one is, I believe. McLovin bought new shock plates from Wildcat. Mancini carries them as well. They have restoration grade that look factory, and then they have more generic ones as well. They used to include them when you bought new shocks. For some applications, yes, but for the lower... Okay, AMC guy says they are indeed pressed in, but the new ones are bolt in. Okay, so maybe you can drill out, bang out, destroy the originals. Yeah, Mancini Racing sells reproduction shock plates. Yes, they do. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Bolt-in studs are for GM cars. But the top shock bolts, at least on some body styles. It's nap time almost. I sure am looking forward to finishing painting my new office and then moving everything in here. Ugh. Welcome to the madness. Add to it, please. Dean Stevenson in the house. Fox Can Fix It garage smelled burning oil and rubber today. Corvair fan belt broke. I had to go 3 miles with the oil light on. Ooh. There was a volcano of smoke from the engine. I may have killed it. That ain't good. Dang it. What was the line? Keep a moving, Dan. Don't you listen to him, Dan. And he listen. Damn it. He's a devil, not a man. And he cursed the burning sands with water. Water. You can move your guitars and stuff, or you can move NOS car parts with Tom. Not all that hard a choice, is it? No. Noise. Alex Clemens says, appreciate the help. I'm a new follower, and I'm loving your content. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Brady Dog, my brother won't let me take a beat run in his 68 Roadrunner. What can I do? Well, I can't advise that you steal it. Oh, seriously, I'm sleepy. I even doubled up on coffee today. Didn't help. Kim fixes things in the house. How's it going? Cool, clear water. Oh yeah, I did do that. The nights are cool and I'm a fool. I'm glad everybody caught that. Where is all of your psychology you've written? I haven't written it down. The tryout. Last time I moved, the guys who loaded up my house said it was the heaviest move they'd ever done. After I emptied out our old shop downtown and moved everything in here, the lift that we never set up there, the giant air compressor, my toolbox, tools, truckloads, giant equipment trailer loads of crap. I moved everything in, and it sucked so bad. And I told my wife, I am never moving this shop again. I will die here. But I don't know. I guess I could. Alan says, at least you didn't buy an NOS parts business. Studio sounds easy at this point. Yeah. Dude, barbecue chicken sounds good, but last night my buddy Byron brought pizza. After the show, we had a little fire, and one of the ones he brought was not barbecue chicken. That's quite good too, but it was a white sauce chicken bacon. Oh, it was divine. Oh, JMR, dictated by phone. Sorry. Play us a song that you have written. All right, this is a Morning Orange song in progress. Oh, and I'm not a guitarist in that band, and I suck. I didn't write that part. I wrote the words, but I'm actually not sure I can. I don't think I can actually sing it and play it at the same time. It's really hard. It's in 5. That seems louder than usual, doesn't it? Buster Scruggs. Yeah, exactly. It's a good one. Marty Robbins version for me. And that's, good, but Buster Scruggs. So good. That ain't good. I'm not actually going to play that. Oh, song that I've written. I've written a lot of songs, but I can't think of any of them right at the moment. Yeah, chicken bacon white sauce. So good. I wrote the turtle song. We ain't good, but we're loud. Dan Arquette. Yes, Rooster, I wrote that slide song. I didn't write it on your porch, but I did write it and play it on your porch. Mom, I thought of that one actually while I was thinking about all the songs I've written, but I don't believe in that one anymore. We ain't good, but we're loud. We massively outclassed the PA last night. Let's see your Stevie Ray Vaughan impersonation. Well, no. If the earth was a turtle and I was also a turtle, well, you know it's only turtles all the way down. No rocks, no shrubs, no grass, no policeman on my ass. How I wish it was only turtles all the way down. I did mention I don't really have a voice, right? I think I did. Maybe if we play something loud, people will think we're good. Yeah. Food coma? Oh, I wish. I could eat right now. Not really. Connor Lake Havasu, can we assume that blue 340s are cast crank and reddish is steel? They were built forged crank. Yeah. Forged crank, blue for a year. So yeah. Red-ish. There were red 340s early and then orange ones. Any of those will be a forged crank. Yes. Sell it and buy all new stuff. See you, Patrick. Thanks for being here. See you, Buddy Garage, with a great question. When is Colin going to do another video with you? Is he off the Mopar radar now? He is just living life and driving a Chevrolet, but he is actually making another Fury video. I don't know where he's at with it. But yeah. Yes. Yeah, there were blue 340s with forged crank. It was February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, I think. Like a year of production that were still forged cranks and blue. But I think they lowered the compression ratio for 72, but still had forged cranks till late in the year. I could be wrong. Old Iron. I found a 73 motorhome 440 in a motorhome at the local yard. Assuming it'll run, how much would it be worth? I used to get those for $300 all day long, but today, more than that. The local junkyard had 4 of them, and this is 10 years ago. They wanted $700 each to pull them out, and I was like, no. So I never bought any of them. Today, that's, I don't know. I think $500 to $700 for a like known good one. Probably. I don't know. I hate to pay that much for them, but they're probably worth it. Yeah. Turtles. Turtles. I can't remember the song would be an interesting chorus for a song. No one ever says anything when I say I can't remember the words to Rumble. No one. Scoop wrote a little ditty in the comments. That's nice. The only David Allan Coe song I know at all is You Never Even Called Me By My Name. And I've done that one many times. Something, something, ham and plaster. Yeah. 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 Learned about that. Yeah. It wasn't intentional. Go to Nashville and cut a record. No. I'm sitting in a recording studio. Gag me with a dead Smurf. Yes, I fully trashed my voice last night. I don't mess around. He should be in a band. Nice. JW Kegel sent me $4.99. Thank you, sir. And said, hope you're doing good. Keep up the videos. I'm doing great. Everything's going really nice. Actually. Always look on the bright side of life. JMR, do you have a 489 housing assembly with a 323 gear? No, I don't. With a clutch type posi? No, I don't. And if I did, I would be using it. Yes, 360 teardowns next week. At least 2 of them. Sam Grable, any differences between the Marine 440s and the truck industrial 440s? That's a hard question to answer because there are different configurations. And the big, gnarly, heavy-duty industrial engines, first off, they aren't even usually 440s or 413s with the big giant heads. Someone asked Tony this question in a live stream the other day, and I think there was a misunderstanding because he was thinking of the big giant industrial with the huge water pump and the special heads and manifolds and everything. I don't think RV's got that. RV's got the truck 440. The cast crank one. And they're basically all normal truck stuff. So an industrial engine is going to have special heavy duty crap on it. Pickups, heavy duty pickups, 1-ton trucks, anything like that with a 440 would be the normal 440, same as you'd see in most RVs and stuff. Marine 440. I don't know. It depends on the year. The Marine 440s I've had were forged crank, basically HP engines. They had, forged cranks. They had good heads. They had nice pieces in them. But sometimes they're backwards because you'd have forward rotation and reverse rotation, clockwise and counterclockwise. The one we put in the toolbox Charger, was originally a C-body engine rebuilt as a counterclockwise boat engine. Excuse me again. And we had rear main sealing problems because of that. They machined the grooves away on the crank. Because they go the wrong way. So, any differences? Maybe. The Marine 440s I have experience with have special pans, special cooled manifolds. They have special accessories and stuff. But like that one was just a normal car or truck engine with marine stuff on it. And some truck engines are that, and then some heavy-duty engines are not that. So it just so depends on what you're looking at. Hopefully that explanation made sense and didn't take 5 minutes. Plymouth on Plywood ran from a cop in a 79 Ram Charger and got away. He was on a bicycle. Yes, he fixed the carb issue on the Fury the other day. Did he record that? Yes, he did. I helped him with some of it, and I loaned him a carb that he can't keep. Yes, that will be in the video. I don't know how much more he's going to do. I don't know what he has filmed and hasn't. I need a lyric list, like a list of all the songs I've written. I don't want to know all of them. Would you like a ride? That wasn't in the right key. Don't worry about that. Snowmunk VX is way late, but here to say cheers. Okay, this is true on big blocks. Not all forged cranks had pilot holes. I have yet to, and I'm not saying they don't exist, but I have yet to see a small block crank that didn't. Big blocks, absolutely. 100%. But yeah. I would say there were no orange small blocks with cast cranks. Yes, correct. Yep, that's true. Yep. Because the only orange small blocks would be 273s, which are all forged. Well, now hold on. Wait a second. 1968 273s. Orange cast crank. We've disproved the rule. Jeff R., is there any footage of this weekend's Morning Orange set uploaded to the interwebs? Yes, there are at least 2 videos on the YouTubes. That is not my band. That's me on the internet playing Scott Pilgrim's bass, which someone finally noticed. Yeah, there's that one. There's another one somewhere. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yep. That's the same song from one of the last videos from the first show. No one's gotten the songs I really like yet. Answer 14 is here. Been swinging wrenches on the 90 D150. It was 95 and swamp-like humidity. Ugh. New radiator installed along with transcooler. Sweat is real. I'd pass out hot. Oh, I'm passing out hot, but the truck is cool now. Nice. Birdie Dog, are you done fixing up the 64 GT? Going to sell it as is? Yeah, I am. I wanted to do more and get it on the road for Sirius, but they seem excited about it, and I am not excited about it. I have a lot of other things to do. So, I like that car. I like it a lot. It's really cool, but I have Perky. I have a Scamp I'm not driving. I have so many other things, and so, yeah, I'm just going to sell it as it is. Classic Dude Mike, would you be surprised to hear your Turtle song on a folk live music stream? Yes. I would be very surprised. Josh dropped in. Almost quitting time. I just got here. I'll smash the like and listen to it again later. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, the Marine 440 I took apart again. Reverse rotation, special stuff, special distributor adapter. It also had a 3-bolt cam, like a 6-barrel engine or a Hemi. And it was very special because it was reverse rotation. Oh, follow-up question is, what should I do with my Chrysler outboards? Outboards or inboard out drive, like powered by boat 440s? You're trying to find replacement engines? Well, again, one of them is going to spin backwards, so that can complicate things. If you have a pair and you're trying to replace them, normal 440s will do most of what you need, and you have lots of options. I mean, I would want a good forged crank engine with good beefy internals, but it wouldn't be hard to find something that will work. But if you have a pair of them, you need one of them to spin backwards. So that you will need all the special parts off that thing. The starter, the cam, the distributor, and adapter. The crank, again, is special in the rear main sealing area. You can fix a normal crank to work, but true outboards, well, then they're not 440s then. Cutworm59 says, I absolutely love your trip adventures. Thank you. What happened to freaking lasers? We decided to get serious. I ain't here to break it. Just see how far it will bend. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. Filming is just like this, but worse. You should see the graveyard of clips in my trash bin. It's all 30 different versions of the same thing I'm trying to say because I can't talk and I don't have a script. And I think about what I'm going to say, but not enough. And then I think about the next thought before I finish the last thought. And so, like, letter sounds just end up where they don't belong. It makes no sense. It's painful. Anyway. Keith Hill, now that my 413 is almost broken in, drop the compression by 1 and have long RAM intake manifolds for it. Was hoping to buy a couple EFIs. I would value your opinion. Should I save my money? Yeah, I would never do that. Ever in a billion years. I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't. For every reason. Phil Buckley in the house. How's it going? Oh, yeah, I do really want to do that. Yeah, your dart, Mike's dart, and the 64 all lined up. I would like to do that. I don't know when it's leaving. It might be soon. We'll have to make him drive it back. Old Iron. If you hooked a reverse crank 440 to a normal transmission, would it just make reverse forwards and vice versa? The pump is not going to work backwards. The pump will be really, really mad. The transmission's pump will be very mad trying to work backwards, and I'll bet you the converter wouldn't work either. Rust Beaters Derelicts, any thoughts of running a Magneto in the Banana? I would love to run a Magneto in the Banana. That would be sick. Tom had one, And I almost kind of sort of called dibs on it, but which I do with many things. But it was so expensive. They're very valuable, and I didn't want to pay all that. Oops, wrong thing. I have been planning to do a blooper reel, but here's the problem. When I am making the show and I'm screwing up, unable to talk for the show, I get mad and I delete those clips. Now, I delete them the moment I film them, and I'll get through 7 of them and I'll move on, and then I'll go, oh crap, I should have saved those for the blooper reel I promised, where I was going to include all 29 fuck ups, but I don't actually want you to hear them. It's just dumb. It makes no sense. Why can't I talk? I don't know. Why did I choose this profession? So I've been meaning to do that, but I don't. I just automatically delete them. Used to be when I imported footage into the laptops, the old-fashioned way, by hooking my phone up and waiting a half hour for them to sync. Now I just export them with the magic wireless sharing thing. AirDrop. Works amazing. The #1 reason to own Apple products. AirDrop. It is so great. It simplifies my life so much. Once I figured out I could send 300 clips by AirDrop in 2.5 minutes, game changer. Anyway, when I used to load everything into the computer the hard way, all of those goof ups would be in there, and I'd have to cut every single one of them one by one. And so I'd just delete them while I'm doing it to make life easier. And so I don't have them anymore. And I never remember to save them because I hate it so much. Missed a lot. Did Perky ever fall off the cylinder head? No. Still hanging there 4 days later. I'm going to use an inductive heater coil thingy that I forgot I own to heat the studs, and we'll see if that helps. Excuse me. You got to have a really long tiller handle on them 440 outboards. There will be a video on a Chrysler boat in the future. I don't know when, but it'll happen. Anton Leimbach in the house. How's it going? Next week, we'll see a new video about hanging with Perky. That was my plan. My plan has been, and here's the problem, and I've explained this problem before. Bloopers implies that they're funny and worth watching. And me stumbling on my own tongue and swearing at myself and screaming at the top of my lungs because I hate everything about it is not fun. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. The only value in it would be like a peek behind the curtain. Like, this is what it's like. Ask anyone, Alan, David, Tom, anyone who is around when I film, and that's what it is. It's just me screwing up and reshooting it, trying to get through a sentence. And I do this thing where I leave notes for myself when editing. So if I screw something up and I'm like yay far into a clip and I don't want to start over, I will say cut and remind myself. That reminds me, hey, you screwed up here. Fix this in post. And I do that so much. It's painful. No, it's not the best stuff. It's awful. Tom's here. Said his name. That would be why. No, I don't keep the footage. I delete. That's what I was saying. And also, I delete footage that I have used. I used to keep... I've done a couple compilation back in the day. I think I did 3 of these. I don't remember what I called them. But I did like highlight reels. I would save clips from various videos, things that I thought were fun, good jokes, etc. And I would snip them together and do like a compilation type thing. A best of, if you will. And so I was saving clips that I liked for a very long time to do more of those. And then I realized I'm not going to do that. And if I need any of this footage, I'll just go snip it off YouTube. So I get rid of everything not as soon as it's used, but once it's used, it's deleted off the computer. It gets deleted off my phone. Every week or two, I go through and purge stuff. And so far, I haven't deleted much that I missed. Old Iron, if you hooked a reverse crank marine engine to a manual, could you theoretically bank shift going backwards? I should have clarified. I know an auto wouldn't work. Yes. Yeah, there's no reason that wouldn't drive backwards. Yeah. Sure. Russ Peter Sterling, there was a Dodge Travco motorhome listed on Marketplace by me recently. There was one listed by me on Marketplace recently. It was free. I did not get it. Multiple people sent me the ad and said, you should go get this. It's free. To which I responded, you don't understand. Once I'm done harvesting it for organs, it is impossible to get rid of. That's why it's free. And let's say a questionable individual got it, and it is now parked right down the street from my house on the side of the road. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've seen this. Jamie, that reminds me of the movie Winnebago Man. He's trying to make RV videos. He's trying to make ads, and it's him cussing and berating himself for messing up. That is what it's like for me. 100%. I haven't seen that movie. I didn't realize it was a whole movie, but I've seen it. I've seen that guy. Clips, whatever. Jay Hunto's Garage says, I'm still doing it the old-fashioned way. I throw in the outtakes at the end of my videos, usually the best part of the video. I think I take myself just a little too seriously to do that. And I don't mean that to say like, oh, I'm too good for that or, whatever. What I mean is, I don't know. I just don't want to do that. I used to have an intro and I got rid of it. Tom from Rocket, the same. Jeff Hutchins doesn't want to see the members OnlyFans videos. Good point. Helical cut gears would hate running backwards. Yes, they would. Thank you. The tryout, I'm not going to put that comment on screen, but the odds are very, very good. There is an engine in it, though. Mark Bass, is there anything interesting you can think of doing with the Maserati version of the Pentastar V6 or any of the speed parts from it? I didn't know they had a special version of the Pentastar V6. I knew they were V6ing those Maseratis, but I thought they had turb skis and nothing to do with Pentastars. It is about that time, everybody. I got here late. I'll check out in just a few minutes. I'll be damned. Turbocharged 3.6 Pentastar, producing around 400 horsepower. I did not know that was a Pentastar. That is so funny. I've serviced one of those things, and well, it didn't look like one. Huh. That is sick. I want one. Yeah, never take yourself too seriously. Absolutely. Thank you, Jay Hunto. Yeah. Wonder if the rockers are any better in the Maserati version? Probably not. Chris has had it out. It's late on the East Coast. Have a good one, everybody that's checking out. This is about the time for that. Mexican Spec says, my son thinks it's weird that when you say, hi, I'm Jamie, I say, hi, Jamie. Some people do it in the comments. Dude, I can't believe I didn't know that was a Maserati Pentastar. I want one really bad now. I'd love to do a Pentastar A-body. It's been done, but I doubt it's been done with the Maserati version. I have done that a couple times. I've beeped a couple swears. I don't want to make a habit of it, but I have done it a couple times. Yeah. Rooster is out. I used to do Dead Plymouth Garage, Dead Boat Garage, Dead Studebaker Garage, Dead Ford Garage. I've done a lot of different Dead garages, but Haven't done that gag in a long time. I actually made a special Dead Plymouth Garage logo where I scribbled out Dodge and wrote Plymouth in a different font, but never ended up using it. It looked too cheesy. Oh, yeah. I'd love to know more about that. Now go away or I shall taunt you a second time. Take it easy. Oh, Jesse V. Just the man I wanted to see about after blowing up my 225 slant last night. Good job. If only 2010s Maseratis were extremely cheap and obtainable. Oh, wait. Do the Craig Ferguson version of a beep and put a rooster crow over it. Literally what I did, but I used a horse neigh. Or not a neigh. I didn't use it. I used that. Like a horse snorting noise. It's a great day for America, everybody. God, I love Craig Ferguson. The man. Should I slap the camera? You're all a bad influence. Maserati Ghibli. That it helps if you spell it right. Maserati Ghibli. Well, that's not cheap. Getting warmer. Getting warmer. Maybe I should have hit low to high. The cheapest one's still 5 digits, so that ain't going to work for me. Someday, though. Oh, my God. I'm sure many of you will be aware this thing exists, but the Maserati TC by Chrysler. That's right. The ultimate K car says Maserati on it. It's not really the ultimate K car. What the 67 Fastback CUDA in Oakville, Washington? I must go. My people need me. Oh no, this guy's insane. What the $7,000 rare Barracuda because of the color. Only made 30. Mine was that color. It's the burnt orange color. That's like the most common color, maybe? What the hell are you talking about, bud? $7,000. It's got holes rusted through the top of the trunk lid. Oh my God. Grill smashed. Nose panel smashed. Headlight bezels are gone. So all the important stuff. No hood. There are literally holes in the middle of the doors. $7,000. No drivetrain. $700 maybe. That dude's high on math. What the hell? What is wrong with people? I have gotten a friend request during this very live stream from someone in this very live stream. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I apologize, even if you hang out here. Unless I know you really well, I'm probably not going to accept your friend request. I have too many friends. I want to keep YouTube life and personal life separate. 3.6 mod, replaced with Hemi. Mod done. Mine is gutless. Are you kidding? What's wrong with yours? We've got one in a friggin' Grand Cherokee that's like every time I stomp the throttle pedal a little too hard, it doesn't scare me, but it surprises me. It's like, 300 horsepower is a lot. So I don't know what's wrong with yours, but those are damn good engines. I love them. My Challenger, I'd pass 3 cars on a 2-lane, 100 miles an hour. Whoops. All the time. Yeah. Andrew Button says a Maserati Pentastar in a 71 Demon would be cool. Yeah. Get out of here. Yes, it's a fancy LeBaron. Yep. Who run Town? There's a TC local. This was a turbo one. I'm sure it was an auto, though. Sam Grable. I can't be the only one to use ether on my old NA diesels. You are not, but I won't do it. Rust is a very common color. I know. Jesse V, any tips on running an MV 3500 behind a carved Magnum and a 79 D100? Seems pretty straightforward. It is. Yeah. If it's a later one, you won't have a speedo drive. So that kind of sucks. And the cross member, you're going to have to fabricable or find one from an early 90s overdrive or 5-speed truck. That would bolt right in. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to it. Well, you're going to want the hydraulic clutch pedal. You can pull that out of a Ram, and they apparently go right into those first gen tin grill trucks. Oh, well. Vintage Adventure Drive says, I popped up in his Facebook list of people, happily left you alone. Well, thank you. Yeah, and again, like, no offense to anyone, but there are hundreds of people in my friend request list, and I don't like it. Is the tan seen on Scamps and Dart Sports super rare and valuable? Yeah, they only made 12. Okay, Jeff556. My 3.6 and my Rubicon with 35-inch tires is a dog. I could see that. Why? I didn't come up with fabricable. I think that was an AVE thing. Barry Kuda is here just in the nick of time because I've been on for 2 hours and I'm going to leave. Dude, I really want to find a Spirit RT with the fancy Lotus head. That is so cool. Yeah, I'd love to find one of those. Because this is a front-wheel drive Mopar channel now for some damn reason. Yes, it's that crazy DOHC dual cam head. Yup. Pretty sick. Yeah, the tryout 35-inch tires means you probably need a gear adjustment. Yes. Old Iron says, if you buy a Spirit RT before me, I'm going to be angry. I believe you. If I ever find one, and I wouldn't bank on it. Watch out for the sharks. Kevin Brunk and Jamie, any thoughts on offering tall sizes? I'm fully in support of it. It's just they don't have tall sizes in the line of shirts I use. They only have like the X, 1X, 2X, 3X, that numbering system for bigger in every direction. They don't have talls. And I use the shirts I use because they are really, really nice shirts. So I don't know what I don't know what to do. Like, I'd have to pick another shirt line, and yeah. Oh, yes, I apologize if you're sitting in my inbox. If I get to know you very well, and we talk a lot in here, I may consider exceptions. There are a handful of people on my FaceTube's friends list from YouTube from early on. Like, I mean, McLovin's in there, but we've been talking for a long time. Stacy Renner. Who else? Donnie. That's different, though. There are people on my YouTube friends list that I met through YouTube, but they've been there for a long time, and I decided at some point, I can't accept every friend's request. I just can't do it. Mods are family, yeah. Again, like, if we talk a lot, that's different. Johnny Grassa, do your shirts deliver to Canada? Yes, they do. Scoop is in a box. Fleetwood says they never made a DOHC Spirit RT with an automatic. Hell yeah. Jaybird, have you entered into Freiburger Scat Pack giveaway? Yes, I have. I bought a Stubby Bob shirt. And it was the day... Excuse me. The day before or after I traded in my V6 Challenger. Yes, Old Iron was here early. That's very true. Very true indeed. If you sent me a friend's request, I wouldn't know because I don't know your name. Or actually, don't have a Facebook account, so that complicates things. You've emailed me, so I probably do know your name. Sam Grable is a 76 Plymouth Fury worth $2,500. If it's in decent shape and driving, I'd say absolutely. Assuming that's a Fury, not a Grand Fury. B-bodies are late B-bodies. I'm in support. And even the big boats are kind of cool. Evan has found more treasure. Whoa. Wow. That's crazy. Cave Junction, Oregon. Oh, I've been there. 1972 Dodge 1-ton car hauler. Factory Texas bed. Rocket launcher bed. I don't know what factory Texas means. Certainly not factory to any Dodge truck. Rocket launcher bed. And it has a stinger on it. Ramlin Park 360. $1,500. It's a ramp up over the cab. I considered that for mine, but realized I didn't need to do that. Whoa. Nice. Jay Hunto signing off. Take it easy. All classics. Wait, what did I miss? You traded in the V6 Challenger 4 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie with a Hemi. I'm going to do a video on it coming up. Yeah. I don't do enough Mopar. I'd wind up with an enemy's request. Nice. Good night, Brian, and everybody else checking out. It's past time. I got to go eat something. Gotcha. Yeah, Kevin, I'll see if I can come up with something for that. Like, again, I'd love to offer it. They don't have it in the line of shirts I use. And so it would have to be like a separate thing where I find a line of shirts with tall options, and then it would be like a separate item on the website, and then I'd have to do that for every shirt. And it's like, I don't know. If there are other options, I will try and figure that out. Would also take a nice belt fed. The rocket launcher isn't required. Yes, ramp up to the cab would be room for 2 A-bodies, and we're not doing that. Sometimes you eat the bar. I don't do a good Sam Elliott either. Sometimes the bar eats you. All right. My real name is Old Iron BNSF. Why do you ask? Never mind. Anton Limebach, does the new Ram have the 6457? Mine is a 5.7 non-e-torque. 5.7, 395 horsepower. 4 doors. Heated, vented seats, big sunroof. I did a live stream from it a few weeks ago when I first bought it. Absolutely love the truck. It's been fantastic. But it has a Hemi, and someday it'll explode. So that'll be the video. All right, I'm going to get off here. 170 people hanging out to the end. Thank you very much for being here. McLovin, does my wagon tow as much as your half ton? No, my half ton's weighted for like 10,500 pounds. Weighted. It's time to stop. I almost bought a Hurricane truck hot shoe, by which I mean I strongly considered it, then I read up on it and decided I didn't want it. Old Iron, I've kind of read a couple not so good things about eTorque, but not many. Johnny Grossa, 395 horsepower is plenty. Vintage Adventure Drives was here the entire time, and that's why you are number one, except you're not now. Hot Shoe got it. Okay, I'm leaving. Thanks for being here. Wednesday, we'll have hopefully an update on Mark's 318. Haven't seen him here tonight. That's interesting. Or a 360 teardown, one of a couple. We'll have a 4-speed. Good morning, Patrick Ramberg. You are late. Andrew Button, I've never really had steering coupler problems. It's always in the gearbox. Oh, my mom's going to spot me some cider. Hell yeah. Mark's busy cooking in the RV. He's got to pay for that collection somehow. Oh, anyway, yeah, his engine should be done by Wednesday. God, I hope so. I'm getting tired of all that. And then Slick Shift for Speed and something else for next weekend. I will see you then. Thanks for being here. And just say no to Chrysler TCs. Good night, everybody. Okay, bye. Thanks for being here. Ooh. Oh, wait. Crap. I just remembered I can't actually play that, Alan. Dang it. It's that. I'm not Frank Zappa. Okay, bye. Woo!